Hello everyone, Nick Rock Lobster here. It's been quite a while since you've seen my beautiful face on this channel. Life, things happen, haven't been able to record a lot lately, or at all. But I'm very excited that you're here for the first episode of my new series, Moving Pixels. We're going to flip the stereotypical script of shit-talking bad movies that are based on video games, and talking video games that are made on movies. Not all of them are going to be bad, and I'm not going to shit talk on all of them, but there are good games, there are bad games, good movies, bad movies. Some I'm looking forward to playing, some not so much. Same with the movies. But, I do it all for you. I do it for the entertainment, and I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's jump into our first episode, which is Fight Club is a 1999 action, mystery, noir, kind of all rolled into one, film by David Fincher. The basic plot of the film is Edward Norton's character kind of gets tired of his humdrum life, and through a series of events loses everything and starts living with Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt's character. Tyler is kind of a wild card. If you don't know the plot of Fight Club by now, I don't know what to tell you. The movie's a cultural touchstone, has been for 25 years. The movie came out 25 years ago, and it's just been part of our culture ever since. In fact, I can't confidently say that I've seen the movie from beginning to end until yesterday. I don't remember if I ever watched it, but I've seen so many references and clips and people talking about it and all these things that I felt like I had already seen it. Maybe I had, maybe I hadn't. I don't remember. But I always kind of steered clear from it and never really wanted to see it. Never really had a desire to watch it or rewatch it, if that were the case, because it tends to gravitate towards edgelord type people. I kind of say Fight Club in the same breath as like Clockwork Orange or American Psycho or Todd Phillips' Joker. It just has a lead character that gets kind of deified when they really shouldn't be, and the whole point of the movie is that they should not be deified. They're not good dudes. But, for some reason, incels or toxic dude bros just idolize them. People think Patrick Bateman is cool. He's not cool. He's a fucking preening douchebag. And I kind of feel the same way about this movie. But I'm going to try to review it on its own merits and not let that sort of social aspect of it skew my opinions. So watching it yesterday, I do think it's a very interesting movie. I mean, technically speaking, it's a great movie because you get David Fincher behind a camera. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it a long time, and he's very talented, and I think he's very creative in how he shoots things. A lot of stuff in Fight Club now feels a little bit old hat, but that's mainly because everybody copied Fight Club, because Fight Club was that big. But I do think that Fincher is extremely talented, and I wish he'd give us another season of Mindhunters. Just going to throw that out there. And anything that he makes, I think you're going to have a good time with. Well, at least on a technical aspect, you're going to be able to look at it and go, that's a well-made movie. I think there's no denying his talent. Alright. I might as well get this out of the way now. I don't like Brad Pitt. I know, it's a hot take. Everybody loves him. I just don't think he's that great of an actor. I mean, he can be. I think he did a great performance in California. Nobody knows what the fuck that movie is anymore, but I thought he was great in it. And Burn After Reading, I thought he was really good in. But everything else, it's just he's either playing crazy cool, like 12 Monkeys and Fight Club, or he's playing cool, like Ocean's 11, or whatever. Or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a good example of cool Brad Pitt. I kind of feel the same way about Will Smith, where he's either sad Will Smith or Save the World Will Smith. They fit into these little boxes, and it's worked for them. I don't fault them, because they've obviously found a formula that works. It doesn't interest me. I find it very bland and very repetitive. But all that said, he was fine in this. He was doing what he does. I think his costume design is fantastic. I want Tyler Durden's whole wardrobe for myself. And then with Edward Norton, he was also good. I think he's a talented actor. Death to Smoochy is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I think American History X, he was fantastic in. Knowing that he's generally problematic behind the scenes kind of colors his movies for me now, but not enough to take away from the experience. But I think the standout in this movie, honestly, is Helena Bonham Carter. I thought she stole the whole fucking show. She was fantastic. And she always is. And she can play any... She got a little bit stuck in a Tim Burton rut there for a little while, admittedly, but I think that she is extremely talented, and she can kind of do anything. And in this, she really knocked it out of the park. So acting-wise, solid enough with her being the shining moment. Technically speaking, again, Fincher's a filmmaking genius. Narratively, it gets a little interesting, and especially thematically, too, because I feel like Fight Club is very much a product of its time. Fight Club could not have been made any other time than 1999. That's when Fight Club was supposed to be made. Even though its themes are universal, and I do feel that way, and in going back to Chuck Palahniuk's reasoning behind making it, and the fragility of hypermasculinity, I feel that's kind of a universal theme. The missteps in male friendships and companionships, and relying too much on other people and becoming codependent. That's the word I was looking for. I do think it's interesting in those. The one thing that didn't age super well for me in this was the whole plan that Tyler has. I guess spoilers ahead. The whole plan that Tyler has is he's going to blow up credit card buildings to reduce everybody's debt back to zero and make everybody even again. And Edward Norton's character just can't have this, and I just don't think that would play the same way today. Because I can't think of anybody alive who would hear that plan and go, no, don't do that, that's bad. Especially because Tyler makes a point of saying, the buildings are empty, nobody's going to get hurt. Just the credit card companies. Pull the switch, man. I'd be on board with that. I at least actively wouldn't be trying to stop him. It just, I think our society has changed enough that wouldn't necessarily be the case. But I do think that it has themes that again, are universal and timeless, but it is very much a product of 1999, and I do feel that it's kind of the movie of that generation. Matrix comes close. Or maybe more. I don't know. It's hard to say. I kind of feel like Matrix kicked off that next generation. But Fight Club was very firmly that mid to late 90s. It was the voice of that time, whether you like the movie or not. In total, I think it's a good movie, despite Jared Leto, who just it's nice seeing him get his face beat in. I'll say that. I find him pretty insufferable as an actor and a person, and I kind of just wish he wasn't in this. But outside of that, you got Meatloaf in there. I love Meatloaf. Hoyt McCallum, I think that's his name, as the mechanic. I love him. Yeah, so as a whole, I think it's a very good movie, and it isn't what I thought it was. For a long time, I thought it was a very nihilistic. Oh, and that's another thing, nihilism.
Believes in nothing.
He believes in nothing, Lebowski, nothing.
It does a very good job of showing the seductive side of nihilism and what can happen when nihilism goes too far. I thought it handled that very well. So yeah, there's a lot of positives here, very few negatives. Set design's great. Honestly, Fight Club's kind of a great movie, even though, you know, I never thought of it that way, and I kind of avoided watching it. Kind of a certified banger, I have to admit. Okay, so now let's move on to the game.
This is a brand new monitor. Oh, that's not in the... What the is that? It's the nightlight in my fucking kitchen. I'm like, there is a bright red light right behind me. I don't know what the it is.
Now, Fight Club was released on PlayStation 2, I think that was the only system, in 2004. So about 5 years after the movie came out. Sort of missed the peak time for release. It's a fighting game, kind of obviously. And it got beat by reviewers. Let's put it that way. They beat the crap out of this game. I think it D-, 32%, you know. Pretty much some of the worst scores you can get. And I understand them, because the story mode I beat in a single sitting, 2-hour sitting, on my stream on Twitch on Nick Rock Lobster. Beat the whole story mode. And that's kind of really all there is. There's a survival mode. You can create a character, but why bother? There's a versus mode. I guess if you're couch co-oping, that might be kind of fun to do that. But there isn't a lot of variety in the game. It's pretty straightforward. And the story mode, and I guess spoilers for the Fight Club video game story mode, but you play a character that's not in the movie, and you're getting into Fight Club and trying to get into Project Mayhem and all these things, and you fight all the different characters throughout the movie. But the story makes no sense. Like, there are characters saying, like, oh, Tyler told me this about you, but your character's never met Tyler. In fact, your character is actively trying to meet Tyler and can't. That's part of the whole story, is he's trying to meet Tyler, and then characters are like, oh, Tyler told me about you. Doesn't make any sense. And you fight through this whole thing. Some of the fights, actually, I think it might have just been the one fight, had a special, like, circumstance. I had to break the guy's arm to beat the fight.
Hey, I know you. I'm glad you didn't shoot yourself. You here for the test?
I want to have a part in it. I'll do whatever's necessary.
That guy. He had to deal with Tyler. He broke it. You break his arm. That's Tyler's code. Broken deal, broken arm. You do this, you'll get a big assignment.
I didn't know how to break his arm. The game doesn't tell you. There's a training mode, but all that is you wailing on an unmoving other character for a while. There's no instructions, there's nothing. So I didn't know how to break this guy's arm. I had to Google it. And once I Googled it, I was able to do it, like, on my second or third try. But before you could just Google these things, what the f*** did you do? Just button mash and hope you got it right? It stalled the whole story. And then you go through all the rankings, and you get to the fight with Jack, the narrator, Edward Norton's character, and you fight him, and he's very difficult. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna f***ing fight him, I'm gonna beat him, and then I'm gonna fight Tyler. And I beat him, and it just sort of ends. You do not fight Tyler in the story mode for the Fight Club video game.
Oh, that's it. I don't fight Tyler. Okay. Well, there's the story mode, folks.
And I get it. They're like, how are you gonna fight Tyler when Tyler is a figment of Jack's imagination? Motherfucker. None of the story has made any sense before now. None of it has made any sense. But that's where you're digging your heels in? That it wouldn't make sense for you to fight Tyler because Tyler's not real? Fuck you. That's stupid. You give me the last level, you're in that skyscraper room in front of that window, and you're fighting Tyler. I bump your game up significantly just by including that set piece. And you didn't do it. It's right there, and you didn't do it. Because it wouldn't make sense. None of it made sense, man. Like, just fucking give the people what they want. Now, it may sound like I am totally on this game, and I guess I kind of am, but I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of fun with it for the 2 hours I was playing it. If I had bought this game back in the day and played it, and it was only 2 hours long, and I now was stuck with this disc that I was never going to play again because it wasn't, there was nothing else to it, I would have been probably pretty pissed, especially if I paid full price. But, like, for an evening that you got a few hours that you're not doing anything, I kind of had a blast with it. Like, you know, the fighting is pretty rudimentary, and it doesn't really tell you what to do, which kind of makes it fun when you really pull something off, and you're like, yeah, I just broke that guy's back. And it does go into a whole X-ray thing, like what some of the Mortal Kombats do. And, you know, it's fun. It was a fun 2-hour diversion. But it's really not anything beyond that. There are some interesting little Easter eggs. I did manage on the stream, when I beat the story, to unlock Fred Durst as a playable character.
Character Fred has been unlocked. Okay, I think I have to do at least one fight with Fred.
Apparently he had a deal that if any game used his music, he had to be included as a playable character. I don't know if that's true. I haven't done any research on it. I haven't looked to see if he's in any other games, but that was the one little snippet I read as to why he was in that game. There are a couple other unlockable characters. Abe Lincoln, because Tyler says he wants to fight Abe Lincoln. Jack's boss, I think you can unlock, because Jack says he would fight his boss.
Methinks I am Jack's lying to his boss.
What?
You know, it's goofy, it's stupid, but it's fun. It's a good way to kill a couple of hours. The controls are smooth enough, even though you're kind of flailing and don't really know what you're doing. You can interact with environments, but I didn't figure out how to do that. I only saw the other guys slamming my face into walls and shit. I don't think it's a very solid whole. It doesn't really come together. It's, I don't know. Again, few hours of fun, it's worth it. Otherwise, I'd probably just skip it. But if you're a fighting game guy, you know, give it a shot. You might be surprised how much fun you have with it. Well, in closing, my thoughts are, you know, Fight Club, begrudgingly admit it's a certified banger. Good movie. I don't know why I put off seeing it for so long. I don't know why I had this kind of negative connotation towards it, other than the other things I said. Solid flick. The game, not as solid. It definitely had some missteps, but, you know, again, if you're just trying to kill a couple hours, it's fun to get in there and, you know, beat the out of some people for a little while. It doesn't have much staying power beyond that, but, you know, entertaining enough. And I think that's just about going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Do the like, subscribe, share bullshit that everybody tells you to do on every video, because apparently it helps. I don't know. I've never been in anybody's algorithm. So, yeah. Thanks for coming by. Catch you on the next one.